All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another day of Be Agile Scrum. Anyone here for the first time joining in? It's your day one? 1, 2, 3, no one? Okay, not a problem. So let's get started directly from the context, the guideline as a reminder. That's quite so important to revise. So I'm going to share my screen and do confirm once you can see that. And I appreciate you being on time here and waiting to get it started. Yeah, let me know once you can see this. Okay, so we are following the 6th code of honor, the one which asks you to be to show up live always. Why? Because Agile is full of ceremonies, and that's what we are learning, and that demands you to be on time, remain punctual, highly committed. And you following it here, that's quite easy to replicate once you get placed. And there is universal law that says that how you do anything is how you do everything. The second one, says that because you are on this path learning, so you become a student, but we don't want you to be the student. We want you to be the full stack student who does all the assignments, self-research, and repeat what they learn. The third one, that asks you to take the full responsibility while you do so. You achieve success once you finish what you start, but when you don't, it may lead to failure, and realizing that push you towards the correction of it. And then that failure does not remain the failure, that becomes the trail to the success. Fourth one, to do so, that demands a concrete mindset, and that comes with continuous improvement. That is the Kaizen method from the lean management of delivery. And more learning minded you will become, you will find yourself going more positive minded. More positive minded you will become, you will find yourself going more complaint free. More complaint free you will become, you will find yourself getting loaded in gratitude. That leads to the happiness, and that's the new happiness is today's new productivity, and that's the demand of corporate. The fifth one, to do so, we recommend you to increase your receptivity by enrolling into the 30 days challenge. That's an audio program. Every single day you are supposed to listen to it. That's although 40 minutes long, but just put it in 2x mode, and you can repeat it every single day just within 20 minutes. And you will be amazed to see how it is impacting every single activity of your daily courses. A link of this you can ask me after the class. And second one, we are taking a deep dive towards the deep learning, and that's the reason we will ask you to follow this golden quadrant of learning that comes with the 4-step declaration with the anchor, then take a deep dive towards the learning, and then draw whatever you have learned and then summarize it. So let's get started. How will you declare with anchor? Anchor is the self Wi-Fi that you know. And what you will do at the count of 3, I'll say 1, 2, 3 and clap. You will model this, and then I repeat the statement that is selected on the screen. Can you all see the selection? Just unmute and say yes if you all can see that. Thank you. Let's get started then. 1, 2, 3, and begin. I'm a quick learner.
I'm a quick learner.
What others
I'm a
can
quick
learn and
learner.
master? What others
What
can
others can
master?
learn and master.
What others can master,
I too can do that.
I
I too can do that.
I
One more
too can
time,
do that.
please, with me with a new segment. 1, 2, 3, and clap and repeat. Because I'm an awesome learner.
Because I'm an
Because
awesome
I'm an
Because
awesome
I'm an
learner.
awesome learner.
Today's learning is
Today's
going to
learning is
be
going to be
Today's learning
Today's
is going
learning
to
is
be
going to be
super duper easy to me.
super duper easy to me.
Yes, it is going to be. In case you could do so, and in case not, then please follow this 6th code of honor that asks you to be the giver. So keeping ego away on the path of learning makes you more spiritually grounded on the path of growth. Why this came? This came because many of you come with the various background, and doing some activity like learning, relearning, and unlearning may not go so easy. And for that, this has to be followed. Okay, when I say spiritually grounded, it means that happiness level increases. As I said earlier, that happiness is new productivity, and that's the demand of corporate. Here it helps you out, and we are not here just learning for the sake of getting placed, but also after getting placed, we are expecting to get paid. If we are expecting to get paid, we must go ahead and get paid more. And to get more out of something, we need to start giving away a portion from that. And for that very reason, start doing the charity at least 5% or 10% of your income. That helps you to grow. And in case you are not earning today, at least have an intention to do that. You can start giving away towards wherever, just one second. Start giving away to any church, temple, mosque, or gurudwara, or just feed hungry children, or donate into old age home or orphanages. Why? Because when you give, you grow. When you receive, you may survive. And I'm sure we are not here just for the survival, but for the sake of growth as well. But just don't give away for the sake of growth, but also to inspire others. And while you do so, appreciate what you do, what others do for you. And even what does not happen to you in your favor, continue to do so, because what appreciates you back. And days how we are going to remain connected, you know that already. Sunday night, 10 p.m, Monday 10 p.m EST for the technical session. Tuesday you are supposed to start attending RRP session that enhances your visibility, credibility, and marketability. Wednesday, you can do the assignment that you learned on Sunday. Thursday, you need to repeat RRP session. Even though it is repeat, you must attend it. Again, you know the reason behind it, that pushes visibility, credibility, and marketability. Friday, you do the assignment that you learned from Monday technical session. Saturday, you can choose to relax or repeat whatever you have learned, and just prepare the question that you can get the answer on the Sunday. So this is how we are going to remain connected. So are we good with this? Do we agree to follow this? Say yes. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So let's get started where we
I have
left
a
off.
question.
Yeah. Who is this?
Yeah, this is Bushra.
Yeah,
So
Bushra.
I want to know, like, on Wednesday and Thursday, there's on Wednesday and Friday, there's no class.
Wednesday, Friday. Okay. So what did you see here? Just let me
I
register.
mean, you said that we need to submit the assignment.
Yeah, so
So
that part is on you, that you need to work on that. Okay. So
okay.
yeah, Thursday
And Tuesday and Thursday, RRP session, what time is that?
so it is 2 p.m, 7 p.m. All will be in touch with your HRs. HR will be giving you the link. And
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, it's my first time,
it
so
is
I don't know.
no problem. So it is never recorded session. You need to attend that. And yeah, so just pay attention so that it will get easy with your memory as well, that when you are going to connect for what reason.
Yeah,
So you can
actually,
take a
this is
screenshot
my
of it.
first
Yeah,
week, so
no problem.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Great,
asking.
thank you.
Yeah, welcome. So let's continue from where we had left off. And yeah, today we are going to learn about product backlog management. Okay, so who remember what do we mean by backlog? Any idea? What do we mean by backlog when I say backlog?
Requirement.
No, the task which was
Large.
epic.
Okay, what else? Okay, it was quite easy. You heard earlier that it was requirement, but it is the broken requirement. It is the sliced requirement. So let's take a deep dive toward this. So we are talking about product backlog management. So okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and please confirm once you can see that. Yeah.
We can say something like incomplete work also.
Yeah, so you can. So what you see here, can you see the product backlog iceberg? Okay, so
Yes.
this is list of the work that you are going to do. Those are future releases. Okay, so future releases are always in the bottom. You remember, again, going back to the example of the slice, okay, the loaf of the bread, which I was referring yesterday as well. So the future releases will be always at the bottom. The topmost priority will continue to go up, and whatever is visible is just like a tip of the iceberg that you can take immediate into consideration and start working on this in the first sprint itself. So far you have known about the sprint planning more in detail, but let's continue to start understanding about this product backlog as well. I want someone to read this first bullet for me, please.
The project backlog is owned by a product owner and reviewed during the sprint planning meeting.
Yeah. So who is the creator of the product backlog? It's not a business analyst. So see, we know at the high range, it's always business analyst who collect the requirements in detail. Okay. And a product owner knows that what all the modules even customer needs immediately, because he is always in touch. He is always in touch with customers. He is the mediator. He is the product owner, is in touch with um, their own team, vendors, as well as the customer. So all the information will continue to get exchanged with each other. Okay, and product owner is responsible. So when it comes to putting the task, putting the activities, and taking the requirement from this list into the sprint planning meeting, will be done by only product owner. So always remember, the epic what we were talking about mostly will be guided by product owner. Sometime product owner himself may write that one-liner module names, and if not, but the guidance comes from product owner himself, and either Scrum Master or mostly business analyst will have to develop that. Okay, the second one, can someone read, please?
It's important that product owners describe the tasks in clear, customer-focused language without technical specifications.
Yeah, so it should go easy to understand, so that non-technical person can come and see that what exactly they are going to work upon. It should be goal oriented, is what exactly at the end we need to achieve, and further it will be elaborated when we develop the user story from those epic. Okay, so always remember, it should not go more technical. It should be in a way that anyone can understand that. So is it clear that epic, when you are writing epics, when you are writing the product backlog, it should be in a very simple, plain language. It should not be technical. Is it clear? Yeah. So
Yes.
if tomorrow you are
Yes,
becoming a business analyst, remember this. And the third one that says that it should be estimated by developers. When we are talking about developers, what do we mean by this? When we are talking about developers, what do we mean by that?
Code writers?
Coding, yeah.
Okay, so let me quickly tell you, I think we have not covered yet. Have we talked about self-organizing team earlier or not?
No,
Yes,
sir.
we did.
Oh, no.
No?
sir, not yet.
Okay, we'll be talking about that when, no, we have spoken about it in the past. Scrum rules, you remember that? Go into the past and you will refer that we have talked about Scrum rules. And Scrum rule consists of 3 members.
Scrum team is self-organized. We have
Yes,
told. Okay.
yes, yes.
We have told that. Yeah.
Right. So what I was talking over here, that just give me a second. Yeah. So we are talking over here that when we are talking about development team or developers, it's just not a coder. It consists of, because this is a team, it consists of business analyst. Of course, coders will be there, coders, business analyst, testers, as well as architect or any another analyst. So they will become the part of this development team. So together, when we call it a development team, it means it includes everyone. So this is in Scrum framework, they are called as a development team. So, and everyone has to estimate their task. Okay. So how they estimate generally, so we will be talking about that as well. So their estimation determine the number of items they will be selected for the upcoming sprint. Tell me, when the duration of the release, duration of estimation of every sprint will get defined? In between, when sprint planning meeting will continue to go on in the very first sprint, or any other answer? When it, I want to know the answer. No, I have not given these only the option. So I want to know when the sprint duration will get defined. In between of the project, at the start of the project, at the end of the project, or
Start of the project.
start of the project. Absolutely right. So it will be done by the customer. That will happen in consultation with customer and product owner at the start of project, and that duration will always be the final for every delivery of the project. And each delivery, what is your strength and how many user stories or epic you can deliver, that will be defined. So it says that the estimation determine the number of items that will be selected. Say for example, it's a 2 weeks sprint always. And some of the sprint, when you are doing the sprint planning meeting, you understand some of the work is of moderate strength, and you can take up to 25 works to do. Okay, just I'm giving a hypothetical example, depending upon the smaller modules. And some of sprint you will identify, because modules are super big and super sized to complete the task, and you may only take up to 5 backlog items. So it may vary depending upon how much strength goes inside completing in one epic itself. So this is how it gets defined. So let's continue to know about what is product backlog. I want someone to read the first bullet for me here in this page.
The product backlog is a list of functionalities, technical requirements, enhancements that are maintained and managed by the product owner.
Yes, so of course we know that large requirement will be broken down into the smaller requirements. Say for example, we are talking about bank enterprise, and it's a smaller list of functionality. So first functionality, adding customer, opening new account. So we decide that in sprint planning meeting we will be giving product owner decide we will be giving these 2 modules to the customer to start working upon them in the very first sprint, because now after this they will start boarding new customers, and allow some existing customer to continue to work with the existing account itself if they have at all. Then you also talk about, okay, it's a deployment, it's a release date will be there. Then there will be integration tasks, there will be testing tasks. These are, even though easy to understand, these activities are easy to understand, but it has to be there. There will be deployment work, there will be user acceptance testing. All these things we will be creating in any task management software. Like yesterday I showed you Jira. So likewise, in any project management system, you continue to log those tickets. When we are talking about tickets, so these functionalities, technical requirement, enhancement, every single thing, even I'm talking about the modules, everything will be called as a ticket. Okay, ticket or candidate in the task management system or project management system. So these are developed in readable and understandable language, so that at the end it will be assigned to the team member as well, and they will start working upon that. Okay, I want someone to read the second bullet point for me, please.
If something is missing from the product backlog, it does not exist. So if a product exists, its product backlog also exists.
Okay, so what is there in between the line? In between the line, there is that in between line, it is there that in case something that you are assuming, you are not going to assume that, because there is no point of assumption. Everything will be in the list. Okay, so what if it is not in the list? It means that you unnecessarily need not to develop that. Say when we are talking about uh, you know uh, backlog item, and when we are talking about opening the account, so somewhere in the requirement it has been spoken that uh, customer deals with saving account, current account, fixed deposit account, or loan account, or whatever it would be. Okay, so all those mentions will be there. You can't just assume that it will not be mentioned. If loan account is not mentioned, you are not going to add by your own self. Okay, so because that may come in a different product backlog. So always remember what is mentioned, that we will be working, what is not, we are not going to work. In case something we are trying to assume, we are going to mark them into the assumption and get it confirmed through customer. Is it clear, everyone? Yeah, say yes if you are
Yes.
Yes.
understanding. Okay, thank you. Third one says that product backlog is never complete. Yeah, until we can see the product backlog. Okay, when we are talking about product backlog, it continues to change. Okay, so yeah, so next bullet point, it says that the product backlog is dynamic in nature. So it will continue to change, means it continues to evolve. Okay, the list will continue to grow. Say for example, in first 2 weeks, we are trying to develop something and continue to give it to the customer. For second sprint, we have already pre-built tasks. Okay, so if it is not there, then product backlog will not be called. It won't be called that we have product backlog. The moment we say product backlog is there, it means that we have the work to complete. The moment product backlog is over, everything will get over, means you don't have project to work upon. All right, is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
All right. I want someone to read the last bullet point for me, please.
It changes constantly during work progress because new ideas or functionalities appear. Some of them change or move up or down the backlog list.
Yeah. So as you read here, that during the work progress, depending upon the new ideas and functionality will continue to appear, it will continue to move up or down. So how it will, in a nutshell, look like this. Okay, so here it is the stack. Again, going back to the product backlog, comparing this with the same example of bread loaf. So in case you are wondering what exactly it is, go back and listen to the past recording and you will understand. So here everything is based on the priority will be stacked. Okay, the topmost priority always on the immediate to-do list. Okay, in the sprint planning meeting also we refined it. When we are talking about refinement, so there will be a point where business analyst has already defined all the user stories. Okay, people are working onto that. Now there is a breather time for business analyst, and that is the time when he chooses to refine this upcoming backlog item. Okay, where he works to understand his priority, understand the requirement more in detail, and he continues to refine that before the next sprint planning meeting happen. I'm always referring sprint planning meeting. For that, I immediately want you to remember that in an agile scrum delivery model, there are 4 meetings to which we call it as ceremonies. In that ceremonies, all the work is done. So the very first meeting happens, first ceremony, to which we call it as what?
Sprint planning?
Exactly. Sprint planning meeting, where we decide what to deliver. Okay. Who will deliver? Means what to develop, who will develop, and at the end we will have the sprint goal and dates that when we will deliver. Okay, so that sort of meeting will be called as sprint planning meeting. once planning meeting is done, sprint goal is identified, we know at the end what we are going to get. Okay, then we continue to implement for the defined time duration, 1 week or 2 week, what we have decided to will call it as a sprint duration. Then every single day, another sync up call happens, to which we call it as
Daily scrum.
Daily stand-up.
Daily scrum.
daily stand-up meeting, where we know what every single member, what they did, what they are going to do, and if they are facing any bottleneck, they convey with each other, where all the team members would be there and product owner is optional. Then every single day you work, implement it. And then one fine day you realize, hey, everything is done. Now we can call customer and demonstrate them what we have done, to which we call it as that meeting, what will be called as, everyone?
Sprint review.
In review.
Exactly. So we are demonstrating as we are going to review, where customer will be sitting. To that ceremony, we will be calling it as sprint review meeting. So in the sprint review meeting, we get a go from customer. He is happy or she is happy, and she says that, okay, we continue to get it, and let's lock it. What you developed is fine, or he gives any input. So accordingly, we push that towards the shipment. We deploy that build for customers so that they will start working for their end user. But before that, while this is happening, while DevOps team will be deploying and all, it will be happening. What will happen in the background? We hold another meeting before we commence the new sprint. In that meeting, we talk about what went well, what did not go well, and any learning we had in this sprint. We will take a note of it so that we can implement it in the next sprint planning meeting. But this last sprint, last meeting will be called as what? Where we are brainstorming and reflecting back. What?
Sprint retrospective.
Exactly. So brilliant. So this ceremony will be called as sprint retrospective meeting. So at the start, what happened? We start with the creating and refining. Okay. We estimate the task in the sprint planning meeting, and we start picking every single product backlog. Okay. So yes, you rightly said, all of you, that how many ceremonies we achieve in the first sprint itself, and it continue to grow and happen in every single sprint. I want someone to read the very first bullet point for me, please.
The product backlog is a prioritized set of requests for the desired product functionality and contains all necessary items to complete the product release.
Yeah, it is quite easy to understand that to develop a product backlog further, means into the module, we need to have all the sufficient information, okay, so that completion can be continued. What if it is not there? What if it is not there? Who can answer this? Means some information is missing. What you will do? Because you have to achieve it, you have to complete it so that it becomes workable. Customers should start working upon that. But if some information is missing, you cannot develop that. You cannot, complete it. Then what you should do? Say, for example, you are a developer or tester. You are developing. What you will do?
Go back to the customer and check for the detailed information.
So you will yourself first go back to developer. Means you are a developer. You are developing. Customer does not know you. How you can go back to customer?
We'll reach out to the
Scrum
product
Master.
We'll
Scrum Master.
reach out to a Scrum Master.
Product owner, I think, is responsible for that.
Yeah, product owner is
Product owner.
responsible, but in
We'll
detail, the
do
function.
We'll do a sprint review meeting.
Okay, so will you wait for a sprint review meeting, because that that was supposed to get developed and it has not been developed, and customer will come and then he will tell we did not develop it because the information was missing?
No.
Then
No.
product
So we
owner.
will have daily stand-up
meetings.
Okay, that's a one good way, that in daily stand-up meeting, you can tell that this is not getting developed because we don't have this information. Then customer master may ask, then to whom you have informed about it. What should?
A Scrum Master will contact with product owner.
Okay,
And
so
finally-
understand, let me tell you quickly. So that's a product owner, whoever is saying, is almost okay and right. You can say that, but always remember, product owner knows what to do. Okay, how to do will be known, how things will look like, how things will get developed, how things will communicate with each other when it comes to module development will be known to business analyst or architect. Okay, so business analyst is the key person, always in touch along with product owner with customer. Okay, so anything which is related to the detail of the functionality, if it is not known to you as a developer or tester or any other contributor or developer, you will directly contact to business analyst. What if business analyst himself or herself does not know? Always business analyst can reach out to the customer, because business analyst is the person who should be always in touch with customer, and along with product owner. Product owner may have the multiple activity, he may be in touch with PMOs and all, but business analysts are always accessible, or customers are always accessible by business analyst. Is it clear? If information is missing, reach out to business analyst, he will get it from customer. In very rare situation, you may convey it to product owner when it comes to escalation that customer is not reporting well. Yeah. Okay, I want someone to read the second bullet point for me, please.
The product backlog breaks down requests into a series of tasks for the development team and is an essential component to guide you agile development team.
Yeah. So in theory, it doesn't look like just theory. In theory, you can develop the backlog like this: fund transfer, new customer addition, open account, open account is a parent, ticket. Inside it, there are some, indicators of saving account, fixed deposit account, current account, etc. Okay, so these are just a theory. Okay, at the end, it has to boil down that Epic will create user story, will create features, or features will create some task, will create some subtask. At the end, it should be clearly defining what you are going to do as a development team. When we are talking about development team, what business analysts will do? Business analyst will when we are talking about open account, then there will be activity, develop user stories for open account. Then inside this, he may start writing, or she may start writing user stories for current account, saving account, or recurring deposit account, or fixed deposit account, whatever it would be. Okay, so he will elaborate that, but at the end, he will give the task, develop the code, develop the line of code for opening a saving account, start writing test cases for testing the open account functionality, or opening a saving account functionality. It will be assigned to tester. For architect, start developing the architecture for this opening saving account. But it has to be, every user story will have its own format that you learned yesterday. Do you all remember that you yesterday learned about user stories? Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. So that has been your task. You will be completing it anyway. Prerna, can you take the next slide, please? I think that's the continuation of it. Prerna, you there?
Yes, Gaurav. I was about to ask you, but you were in the flow.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, no problem. So this is the
Okay. So you must have understood the earlier topics, the way Gaurav has in detail explained. So let's get started with the next topic. So tips for product owners on product backlog management. So I hope you all must have understood that product owner is the owner, if I have to call it that way, or the only person who is authorized to touch, update, and maintain product backlog. So while doing so, what are his or her responsibilities that he must complete while doing this process? And this is a very important process, guys. Just imagine product backlog is like your to-do list. Okay, so unless you have your to-do list, your working list in place proper, it will hamper your work if you do not have the correct work items maintained. Okay, so it is very crucial. So I will request all people to read out one pointers, and then at the end we will go with the explanation. Please go ahead.
As a product owner, you are responsible for product backlog management to maximize the value of the product.
Okay.
Product backlog.
Okay. Sorry. Let me interrupt. I'll just stop. Keep finishing one by one. So you'll, if you have any doubts, you let me know. So yes, the first line says that as a product owner, you have to maximize the value. Maximize the value means all the work items which are mentioned in the product backlog has to be of the greater value. That means if the customer has asked for something which is of high priority, then it is the duty of product owner to keep that work item at the top, right? And to take it ahead and complete it and deliver it. This is how the work gets completed. So whatever the customer asks for or has requested for or has kind of, give priority to has to be completed, on urgency level or as per their request. So this way they add a value. So, how you add a value to something when you are more concerned towards it, when you are more responsible towards it, when you are more sensitive towards your work, right? So this is the way they have to be very particular and ensure that they are adding value to the product backlog. Okay, if anybody has any doubts, please pause me and ask. I'll continue the explanation in this manner. Second point, please.
The product backlog is the single source of truth which contains all the work to be done on the product.
Perfect. As I mentioned, it's a to-do list. So you might get this question in an interview that can we have more than one product backlog in Scrum? Okay. Tell me what is the answer to this?
No.
Okay. What about others?
Yes, we can.
Okay, next. See, everybody, yes, no. I mean, we got 20 people and we got 2 answers. So that's kind of not so encouraging. Just say yes or no. No, there's no judging part. And whatever you feel like. We can have, we can't have. Yes. Okay. And it is an interview question. That's why I'm emphasizing on it. Yeah. Yes, no.
Yes.
I don't want to take names of people who are on mute. I hope you are not sleeping. So please unmute. Yeah. I want to see how much is the ratio of yes or no. Go ahead.
Yes.
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 Yeah, I think yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let me come to the answer part and you'll find it tricky. To be very honest, there is no rule for this. Okay. You can have, but for the sake of sanity, for the sake of I would say having a continuous, uninterrupted and workflow with good value, it is always recommended to have one. See, even in the theory, you would get the details that, sometimes people or product owner tend to have two backlog, one as a backup and thing like that. But then no, it is not recommended. Because that's why it is mentioned, it is a single source of truth. The wordings is just like any holy books. So yeah, it is advisable, it is recommended, and rather
there should be only one. There can be, see, there's a difference between can and should. So you can jump from a 100-story building, but should you jump? No, right? I mean, that's the situation. So there can be, but it is recommended that you should not. So your answer also have to be little, little bit like this, that, we can have, but it is highly not recommended to, because there has to be only one source of all the work items or all the product backlog, and that has to be maintained by product owner. This is little tricky. That's why I have given this much time. Everybody agrees? Everybody okay with this explanation?
Yes.
Any doubt?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, why, there might be a question in your mind, or rather there should be, that why we emphasize on some of the points so much, or, though it looks like simple English. You know why? Because in interviews, sometimes interviewer likes to twist and turn and just test your knowledge or your understanding. It's not only that you remember things, it's that you remember the concepts, you understand the concepts. Okay. So that is the reason of us kind of give for giving additional explanation. Yeah. Next point is, someone please read the next point.
You will have to make some choices about what to build first and what to build later, but also what to build and what not to build.
Yes. So that is, see, choices, what you have to work first and work later simply means that you have to prioritize, and that we just discussed that as per the customer priority, we has to know that what is important, what has to be taken on urgent basis, and what is not so important, which can be taken later, and even what has to be worked upon or what not has to be worked upon. Okay. So there can be a scenario that customer had asked for a particular functionality earlier, but now they are just not interested. Now they do not want to do work on that. Make sense? See, it can be a management decision, it can be any other decision that they do not want to have that functionality, but there can be a scenario like this. So be open to that, and ensure that whatever you're working is of as per customer request or a customer demand, and it is as per the priority. Yes, next point, please.
The main tool to manage the product and gain predictability is the backlog.
Absolutely. So this is basically kind of trying to say the similar things in different wordings, or trying to emphasize on that thing. And whatever you have to work on or manage about the product is based on the backlog. That means your backlog is the only source of all the work items that you will work in your entire sprint. Yeah, next.
But if it grows uncontrollably, the value it provides diminishes.
See, now this is the point. If it grows uncontrollably, the value it provides, that means, see, imagine if you have 10 to-do things in your list, in your to-do list. Will you be able to achieve them in a day if you have 10 work items?
No, it will be hard.
No.
Okay, imagine 10 simple ones, like watering the plants,
Yes, you can.
or simple ones. It's not saying
Yeah.
bigger ones. Okay.
Yes.
Imagine if you have 100 such. No, it will be haywire, it will be chaotic, right? I think
Yes.
women would be more inclined towards this, because I am a list person. I mean, if I go for a small stroll or anything, a very quick trip to the market, I will still have my list. Because if I don't have, I have a tendency to miss out on them, or end up getting something that was not on the list, right? So to-do list, so it is like a product backlog. So if it has things, I generally call it as hit on the head points. So if we have the points which are important, which are a must for us to do, and we only focus on them, definitely we will achieve. But if we have haywire things, too many unnecessary things in our list, will we be able to complete any of it properly? Is it so?
No.
Yes, right?
No.
It will be like
No.
master of, I mean,
No.
jack of all, master of none. It will be a very chaotic. So see, all the principles that you follow in the real life are also followed in your professional life, because ultimately you are the one who is working. So same way for product backlog, it should not grow uncontrollably. It should be manageable. It should have high value. Okay. Last point. I think that's the same one what we just discussed. Can someone just read it out and we will go to the next slide?
And unreasonably long backlog is a major point for many agile teams.
Perfect. It's a major pain point for many agile teams. Simple. It's like if you have too many things, how would you handle it? And then it will be like a never-ending loop. You'll get stuck into it, which is not the aim for for us to follow Scrum. Okay. Yeah, Gaurav, we could go to the next slide. Thank you.
So just one quick question, ma'am. So when it comes to the prioritizing the
Yeah.
backlog items,
Mm-hmm.
so at the end of the day, it's a customer's choice, right? The customer has to
Absolutely.
decide which
Absolutely. Absolutely.
functionality
See,
they
it
want to
comes.
add, which they want.
Yes. See, it's like when we go out to restaurant and we order something. So would you like to eat what you order as a customer, or would you like to eat what the chef wants to serve?
Obviously, which we like to order.
Yeah, right. That's why we go to a restaurant, because I want to eat something. So same way, see, an organization may have so many functionalities, so many applications, whatnot. But that doesn't concern you. You are here for banking application. You are here for mobile application. You are here for cloud management application. That's it, simple. So that's what I'm saying. See, the entire focus of your work in an organization is absolutely on client. But that doesn't mean we have to blindly follow them. If they ask us to prioritize something which was discussed earlier, then fine. But if they come up with something extravagant out of the blue, which was not mentioned, not discussed, not in the scope, not measured for the cost or the time, then it has to be definitely discussed, understood, agreed, charge as in, if there's something that will add cost and time, then the same has to be conveyed by the customer, that has to be agreed by the customer, all the documents has to be signed or mutually agreed, and then you develop. So it's like, do not blindly follow them, but definitely their ask and their needs are of the highest priority. Is it clear for everyone, guys?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
and a good question. Yeah, good question. Thank you. Yeah, Gaurav, we can go to next slide, please. Yay, I really like these images. I do not know, some of you might feel it is too schoolish, but trust me, take a picture of these images and they will be your starting points in any discussion, because a pictorial representation has a greater impact on the memory than the theoretical ones. So here, if you see, product backlog is a bigger chunks, it's like a bigger brick. Then there comes smaller bricks or smaller chunks as sprint backlog. So it's like product backlog is your entire project, sprint backlog is your particular sprint, and then what we work in 24 hours, what we work in 3 weeks, and what do we work in sprint. So this is how the Scrum is. It's just a way to depict how it looks. Okay. Yeah. Next slide, please, Gaurav. Yeah, third point. Yeah, so tips for product owners on product management, product backlog management. Yeah, just go ahead one by one. If there is any doubt, I'll explain. Go ahead.
Set priorities.
Keep the product backlog manageable.
Review the backlog periodically.
Delete items you
items.
never do.
Keep items you're not ready for off the backlog.
Do not add tasks unless you plan to do them soon. Always prioritize.
Stick to one product backlog.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Stick to one product backlog.
Yeah, we discussed that. Yeah, we discussed that. Perfect. Next.
You don't
You
have
don't
to
have
do
to
it
do
all.
it all yourself.
Review the timeline.
Sorry, I was talking on mute. Okay, so see here, if you understand or if you remember, we just discussed some of the major pointers, like what are the priorities, or what is a product backlog, has to be manageable, and review it. Review it periodically means just keep checking that you're not adding unnecessary details, or you have not highlighted that's something that is important, okay, or you have not prioritized that, which is something important. Next is keep items you are not ready for off the backlog. So basically, if you are not going to work on something better, you keep it out of the backlog. Just not unnecessary crowded. Always prioritize, yes, and do not add unless you plan to work them, yes. Review the timeline. Now, this is important. I think we didn't discuss in the earlier slide. So whatever you work, that needs to have a timeline. Always remember this. Whatever you want to work, that has to have a timeline. So you cannot have something without a timeline. So if you want to finish a functionality, assign a particular scrum to it, okay? Because this will be in this sprint to it. This will be completed in first sprint or third sprint, or whatever the customer is asking for whenever they want to complete or want to get it delivered, okay? So I think we have covered all these pointers. These are the the keywords to the earlier explanation, if I have to call it that. Any doubts?
Explain 0.5 more.
Yeah, let me check. That is, keep items you're not ready for off the backlog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's simple. So keep items. So it's like the example I gave you. It's like, for example, you want to go to supermarket. Assume you want to go to supermarket for some weekly shopping and get that done. But then your car is at the mechanic for some repair. So can you do that work today, or unless your car comes back? That's
no,
the
but
question.
but when it comes to the customer require.
Okay. Can I also
Mhm.
add the Prerna? Can I add something?
Yeah, Gaurav, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So see, this example is perfect, what Prerna also gave. And apart from this, if you really want to, how exactly in real time, if you want to have some example, say, for example, as a business analyst, you ask for customer is seeking some information based on, again, going back to the banking example, customer wants to know, not customer, you want to know, your team wants to know how exactly this functionality will work. Means there are multiple methods to let one information to work. Say, for example, you are developing something which has to do with card functionality. In the card functionality, there are two ways. You swipe the card. There could be multiple card, credit card, debit card, co-branded card, or forex card, whatnot. Means there are multiple card. Now, say, for example, you chose debit card, and debit card functionality, there are two ways. The moment you swipe the card, you enter the amount, it will ask for the PIN. Okay, that is the one of the authorization way. Second, you swipe the card and immediately it will ask for the PIN. Now, customer wants some time and he will say that don't develop it, and we will think about it, how exactly this should flow. We will be connecting back to our internal business analysis team or internal decision makers, and we will come back to you. Here, things are not ready. Not all the information are there with you. Okay, so are you anyway going to work with on those items if the information is not ready? It is not pending at your end, it is pending at customer's end. So those items are not ready and you will not be able to start working on that, and that will be off the backlog. That will be sometime deferred for the future. Customer may say that. So this is what it means when we are talking about keeping off the back. Yeah, you got
Thank
it?
you for the clarification. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, continue. Continue. Just wanted to add. Anything else? Can I go to the next?
Thank you so much. Yeah. Please go to me. Thank you, Gaurav.
Next slide. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So further to this, I want everyone to read it out, and if any doubts, we'll explain. Yeah, go ahead. It's the simple, similar things what we just discussed. Something is new, we'll discuss. Go ahead.
Not everything has to be a user story.
Okay, now this is important. See, what this means is whatever the customer says or asks has to be elaborated always. Okay, why am I saying this? There's a point to it that all the minute details which can be understood or which can be incorporated without extra explanation should be done that way. For example, okay, if if I tell you to make tea and you know how to make tea, this is a very, I mean, not stupid, but very simple example, but easier to understand. If I ask you to do something and if you know how to do that, do not engage in maintaining details of it. Like if your team is highly skilled and they know about developing a particular functionality and it's a standard functionality, okay, customer has not asked for, like for example, if a customer comes and say I need a shopping cart, normally the shopping cart development is the standard word, the way we discussed yesterday. A customer will select, search for a product, choose a product, add to cart, then make payment, and it will be navigated for the payment bill desk, and then payment gateway will be, if it is successful, then you will be directed with a success message and with your order ID, and your transaction, your entire workflow is completed. So now this is a standard workflow unless customer wants to have any customization. So in such standard work, if there is nothing to highlight, there should not be any user story. Means if a development team is able to understand some work items well, do not excessively add details of it. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. The next point is easy. Go
No,
ahead.
on your product backlog.
Yeah, so know what is on product backlog. It's simple as that. When generally women say I don't have anything to wear and their respective partners show them their wardrobe, so know what you already have. I mean, this might sound funny, but that makes sense in organizations. So know what you have to work upon, know what it will be, what is essential to be completed or what is highlighted. That's the case. Third, yeah, all sleeping.
Reorder the product backlog continuously.
Yes. What does this mean? We just discussed that please keep changing the priorities as per the customer demand. So if the customer says, okay, please have that point number 5 at the top, I need to get that done, on an urgent basis. So please have that done. So the number 5 would be in the top, and then the other will slide down and things like that. So keep working on that, because see, you're continuously in connection with the customer. You are communicating with them as a team, as a product owner, as a scrum master. So you know what they want us to work on. So you keep reordering, keep changing as per customer demand or customer request. Next.
The product backlog shouldn't be complete.
Okay, shouldn't be complete means it is ever evolving. It will keep having new requirements always. That means shouldn't complete. It is, if it is complete means your project is over. You have delivered everything. You're done with the task. There is nothing new to be worked upon. Makes sense? It's like, is your to-do list ever complete? Yeah. Focus on what and why. Absolutely. So what the customer wants and why they want, or why it is prioritized. So what is basically the functionality and why is their priority? Like, okay, why they want it now? Okay, they want to have maybe They want to publish their website at festive season, at Christmas, at Diwali, or at Thanksgiving. Okay, they want to focus on the domestic customer. So why is their intention? What is the functionality? Yeah, put it on the wall. Next, I only did. So I really like this. So basically, it means I have product backlog at such a place, or it should be accessible to read, not to write, for everyone, that they should know what all work items are there to be complete. Make sense? Put it on the wall means what we put on the wall generally, anything that we like, and also anything that we want to achieve, right? Like a vision board. Yes?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
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 You know how we appreciate our kids' drawing or our own some creation and put it on the wall just to see, just to highlight is important. And also for anything that we have to achieve, we write it down, maybe on a whiteboard or anything like that. Okay, next 2 pointers, please.
There is more than customer or business value.
Keep stakeholders
Yes.
updated.
Okay. So basically, it means it's not only that you're doing for the customer or their value or for the work, it's also for your own team and for your own sanity, if I have to call it that way. So don't always think that we're doing it for the sake of customer. You're doing it for your ease also, that you should know how many work items, how much is the, I would say, collective project deliverables are. Okay, what are the total project deliverables are? So its scope is not only for customer but for you also as a team. And last is keep stakeholders updated. That means, see, if any particular requirement requires a particular server or some software or some high-end laptop, or high-end software that needs to be worked upon, so that vendor has to be updated about it. That okay, I need this software on urgent basis. Can you able to, are you able to provide it, and things like that. So always and always remember these things, that product backlog is not only for you, but it is for everyone, and it is for the benefit of everyone in the entire scrum. Okay, so next slide please, if you don't have any doubts.
The product backlog on the point 4.
The product backlog shouldn't be complete.
Yeah, so the product backlog shouldn't be complete, but can sprint backlog can be complete?
Yes, sprint backlog has to be complete, right? Because we have to finish that. See, complete means kind of in the sense of finish. If you have your product backlog finished, that means your project is over. So coming to your question, yes, if your Scrum sprint backlog is finished, that means, or it will be finished towards the end of the sprint, because your sprint is over and you have completed all your work items, right?
Yeah, but that isn't very ideal scenario. But normally, when if you have divided, let's say if we have decided that this particular 5 functionalities we are going to develop in this sprint 1, and the next sprint 2 will do then another 5, and let's say if we finish only 4 in that sprint, so the 1 will be by the backlog for that particular sprint, so that will carry forward to the next sprint, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so in that,
so what is the question in this?
Question is that I'm saying that product backlog is fine, that it should not be complete, but sprint, if they have finished all 5, then there will be no backlog for that particular
See, this
sprint.
is absolutely, but this is, you're talking about an exception case. I'm not denying that this doesn't happen. This happens, but this is an exception thing in Scrum, because as we have discussed, Scrum is highly delivery oriented. That means what you have agreed upon must be delivered, because you have a very short span of time, 2 to 3 weeks, and the customer is in demand, and that's why they're paying you the big bucks, because it's such an intensive thing. But yes, due to any situation, natural calamities, unavailability of resources, or anything, just plain delay, things happen, but then they do incur losses or the charges applied at times, if that is mentioned in the agreement. Okay.
Okay.
So nothing comes free. If there is a delay, there will be a TAT, like a customer would be okay at least for 2 to 3 days. But if it is further more than that, then there are charges, and depending on customer and your relationship and the agreement that you have mentioned. So yeah, that can happen. Delays can happen, but then they should not happen. That's kind of the scenario. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Next point.
Prerna, if you want, I can continue now. Next slide.
Yeah, if you can. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So thank you. So let's continue with the extension of the same answer. There is a new perspective I'm adding to the your question. So sometime what may happen, connecting it back to the previous example, some items may get deferred into the sprint. Customer has not come back, and if a customer has not come back on the explanation, and we had included into the sprint, of course we won't work because there is no sufficient information. Is that right? Yeah. Who had asked that question?
Yeah, it's me, Syed.
Yeah, Syed. So if customer has not given the sufficient information, do you think we will be working and finishing that off? The answer is no, of course, right? Agree?
Yeah.
So of course, in such scenario, things which have been deferred, which has been not informed well back to us, to the vendor, that will go to the next sprint. Does it mean that immediately we will consider into the next sprint? Does it define that? Yes or no? Sayed, what do you think? No, not necessarily. Unless customer says that, customer also tell, keep it with us until we come back. That's scenario number one. Number two, we will let you know before the start of next sprint. If customer has given this information, of course, it means that we have to include that. Okay. And in case customer has said that we will come back to you, it means it has been deferred until customer will come back. So again, this is situational. There is a not concrete answer to that immediately we have to consider into the next sprint, because customer himself or herself has not clearly said that. So don't worry about it. It's now in customer's plate. So let customer take their own time. Customer is paying for that. So we don't have to hurry. But unless there is no dependency upon that product backlog item, we have to communicate back. Now on this product backlog item, because we have got different dependency upon that, it impacts another 3 backlog item and we won't be able to take it up. Okay, so entire planning will has to go accordingly. Did I give you more answer to that question?
Yeah, but I think the lack of information from the customer side, that's maybe that it's one of the factor, but there's some other factor like delay in the testing, delay in the development team, the side.
So ideally what may happen, Sayed, you can think of that delaying in development, some technical challenges. So there should be the workaround. We have to the fixed timeline. Okay. And when we fix the timeline, it is always estimation. Estimation does not mean that whatever we give, we don't have even considered the buffer time. So we are hiring the highly skilled team. And if your team is insufficient, you have to do day and night. If you have committed something, you can't deviate from your own commitment. So from your end and your team's end, there should not be any delay. Delay will happen till certain timeline. And for that delay consideration, when you do planning and estimation, you consider the buffer time as well. I don't know whether you have heard this concept. I am sure that you might have heard. Okay, so it has to be included up to the buffer time, but we can't, work beyond that. I mean, you need to work on weekend, come and work on weekend. You have to work extra hours, do that, but complete it. And for that, product owner always include in the estimation when conveying back to customer with the buffer time. With me so far, Sayed?
Yeah, I agree.
Delay may be understood, but product owner has to handle it with their own planning and estimation techniques. All right. So can we continue now to the next slide, please? Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Yes. So now I was talking about self-organizing and cross-functional team. Let's hear about it. Okay. So I want someone to read the first bullet point for me.
A self-organizing team is one that does not depend on or wait for the manager to assign the work. Instead, these teams find their own work and manage the associated responsibilities and timelines.
Yes, you read it right. You are the leader in your own self. Okay, you are contributing member. It doesn't mean that you will wait for the work to be assigned. Like we ask you to read and you come forward and you start reading it. Okay, so it demonstrates the leadership traits. Okay, likewise, this is expected from every single person. When we are talking about in sprint planning meeting, these are the modules to be developed. You can contribute, you can take the ownership, and you can say it's me. You can give your own estimation, so you don't have to wait that someone will instruct. Okay, so your responsibility is to contribute, not to be guided. Okay, so and that's the reason there is no concept of manager as such. There is no hierarchy in this team. Okay, so this is the first this is the meaning behind the first bullet. By the way, how many of you are finding so far with the question and answer and whatever you have learned, you are getting some value and learning something?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
And Sayed, good question. Keep asking. Okay. So, so likewise, like Sayed, you can also ask, start thinking in that manner, as if you are already working. You may encounter some question or some bottleneck. So you must be asking that. Okay. I want someone else to read, if you have not read yet, the second bullet point, please.
Cross-functional team includes all competencies and domain knowledge without depending on others outside the team.
Yeah, thank you so much. When we say cross-functional team, it means that there are experts from the different domain in the different area. They are coming together. They are working together for one similar goal. When we are talking about cross-functional and we are developing, say, for example, one, large insurance model. Okay. And when we are including in that insurance model, some related to claim involves billing. Claim involves banking. Okay, so banking and billing, when it comes, I want someone who has the knowledge of banking as well as handling billing, and someone with the accountancy as well, because everything has to be built properly, including the taxes and all. So I would require some experts who has knowledge in the insurance domain, who has knowledge in the banking domain, who has knowledge in the claim settlement. So I would be hiring such people who can contribute into this direction. With me so far? Yeah. Yeah. And based on that, my dear friend, job descriptions are also designed. Okay. I want someone to read the third bullet point, please.
A cross-functional team is a group of people with different functional expertise working toward a common goal.
I think I have explained this already with the second bullet point. Any question around these 3 points? Well, goal has to be one. All different minds coming together and solving one problem. Okay, we can learn from them. These SMEs from insurance or claim settlement or banking, they will add value to the team's understanding so that they can develop and test in a better manner, so that these modules can be utilized in a very effective way by the client. With me so far, everyone? Yeah, able to get it, understand it? Yeah.
Yes.
Just one question, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, regarding the first point regarding that, you can assign a team, assign a work for yourself. If you're a developer and you're developing one particular functionality, and once you finish that functionality, you can pick another ticket or user story and you can work on that. Or if you are a tester, you can, once you finish the one testing, you can choose another one. But as a business analyst, you are always depend on the meetings set up by the client or product owner. So then how can you do your own, without you, because you are dependent on the others?
Okay, good question. Now, and thank you so much for asking. There is some clarity required over here. Okay, what are those clarity? Let me quickly tell you. When we are talking about when you said that you are self-organizing, you can always assign to yourself. No, before you could assign, you need to declare about it. Okay, coming back to similar banking example, we are deciding that 3 modules we are working. One person says, I will be working on designing the opening of saving account and fixed deposit account. Okay, he is volunteering. He is declaring that I'll be working that. When he says that, as business analyst responsibility, when he will develop that, he will develop the user story related task, he will assign to that concerned person. Okay, or the development manager, if at all concept is there, or whenever it has been taken in note of that, is it will be first tagged as a development task. Okay, related to that epic, that will be assigned to him. Now, coming back to this person, business analyst, generally there is a strength of a Scrum team. Let me ask you, what is the strength of a Scrum team? Any idea? How many people would be working in one team, in one Scrum team? Give me the answer, guys.
15, 20, depends on the product.
Okay.
Company.
No. So there is a limitation. Limitation is always when you are working on a smaller projects where one to which we will call it as a teamlet. Okay. Teamlet dedicated towards one smaller project. On that smaller project, the size will not vary more than 3 to 9. Minimum 3 people, maximum 9 people. Okay. Got it?
Yes, sir.
And I'm
Yes.
not talking about the bigger enterprise level of project. Okay. Then comes into the scaled agile functionality. That is the total different subject. Okay. So in the smaller Scrum team, if the strength is from 3 to 9, for 3 people, how many business analysts should be there? 3, when the
One.
team, one, minimum
One.
one. When it comes to business team of 4 people or 5 people or 6 people, let's go up to 9 people. As a product owner, how many business analysts I should hire?
One.
One is enough.
One is enough, or maximum we can consider 2. Yeah, not more than that. So 1 to 2 is the ideal. Remaining has to be testers, remaining has to be architect, remaining has to be developers, right? With me so far? Yeah.
Yes.
One
Yes,
will be
sir.
the Scrum Master himself. Okay. And we are not considering this yet into the product owner, but product owner also will be the part of the Scrum team. So when you consider this scenario, maximum 2 business analysts will be there. Now, when it comes to assigning the task, so does only business analyst do the meetings? Only gathering the information? No, he has to document them as well, right? When he has to document them, he has to elaborate the functionality. When we are talking about documentation, he has to do some design work. Design works means he will elaborate the steps in the specification documents, whatever he will develop to elaborate the requirement. And also he will put some diagrams into that. He needs to prepare them. All these activities will come under one activity, to which we call it as A&D task. What we call it as, everyone?
A&D task.
A&D means analysis and design. Okay, so these activity has to be there. And if only there are 2 business analysts, isn't it very easy to divide between both of them? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. So is there any other question which has been unanswered yet, Sayed?
No, that's all.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for asking and getting clarity on it. So, yeah, I think all these 3 points are covered. Let's continue further and understand, understand this self-organizing team and cross-functional team more in detail. And I want 4 people to read one by one. First 2 points will be read by one person. So please go ahead and read it.
The term self-organizing has been interpreted in a variety of ways. A self-organizing team does not need a manager.
Next person.
A self-organizing team doesn't need a manager.
Yeah, after that.
A self-organizing team doesn't need a project manager.
Yeah, someone else with the third bullet point.
A self-organizing team forms itself without any outside interference.
Okay, and the last point, someone.
A self-organizing team doesn't answer to anyone.
What is the crux of it? The crux of this entire bullet point said that there won't be any micromanagement, number one. Number two is that there is no hierarchy. Number three, you are not answerable to anyone else but to your own self. And who is always, if there is no hierarchy, there is no one to answer to anyone, then how things will be carried out? Okay. And for that, what is the checkpoint? Any idea? But there will be someone who will ask some question, right? And even if someone is not answering some question, as being a cross-functional team or self-organizing team, you will be telling about some problem. Question won't be asked why you are not developing, why you are not moving ahead, but you yourself has to tell that, and where you can tell that.
Daily stand-up meeting.
Brilliant, Ipsa. So yes, that will be told, that will be communicated and conversed into daily stand-up meeting. The moment someone says that I'm not able to move ahead because I'm facing this issue and I really want to complete it, it's the Scrum Master's responsibility. Plug the question, the asker, the people who is asking the question, to those person who may potentially have the answer. So most of the time, either it will be developers may have question, or tester may have the question. Okay, so such questions may be, if tester is asking question, either it can be answered by developer or business analyst. If developer is asking some questions, sometime it may be answered by the tester team as well as business analyst. Okay, so you will plug them accordingly with them. You will make sure this meeting happens where the answer will be released to the person who is asking the question. If some information is missing, but excuse me, if some answer is missing at business analyst end, okay, and it has been declared into the daily stand-up meeting, is Scrum Master's responsibility to plug or escalate this issue to product owner. Okay, why? Because some answer or some question may be hanging with business analyst because customer has not come back. And if that's the case, product owner has to raise the flag and raise the alert that this has been pending from your end. All right, with me so far, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the core idea is highly motivated and generate most value. It's your work, your team, together we are going to achieve it. Okay. So with this note, I think we are touching the time. And yeah, so rest of the items we will continue next time. So any questions so far, everyone?
So I just have one little question.
Yeah, go ahead, Mona.
Just like we talked about earlier, as a Scrum Master, its duty is in the stand-up meeting, he's going to come and ask everybody if anybody is having any problems or questions.
So
right?
you yourself answered three things, right, Mona? What are these three things? I don't know whether you have underwent that training or not. So in every time we talk, when daily sync up call happens, you talk about three things. What did we do last? So how will you remember that? Remember these three phrases: last state, next state, bottleneck. So can you repeat with me, everyone? Last state, next state, bottleneck. Please repeat with me. Last state, next state, bottleneck. Last state. Yeah. Last state. Next step,
bottleneck.
Bottleneck.
Thank you. Thank you for, yes. So what does it mean? It means that when you are participating in daily stand-up meeting, you will be talking about last state. It means last 8 hours, what you have spent with, on what work you were completing in last 8 hours. You yourself are telling that. Is that anyone asking you in the daily stand-up meeting? No, only turn will be called out. Okay. So Mona, Bishra, Ashwarya, Dhruvi, Ipsa, likewise, Sayyed. So your name will be called out and you will be only talking three things. You yourself will be telling. No one will be asking, hey, what did you do in last 8 hours? You have to tell that. Next 8, what is your plan to do in the next 8 hours? That you will be declaring. Bottleneck, is there anything that is stopping you to move ahead? Any information, anything that you are not understanding. So these three elements, you yourself will be telling that. Okay, so no one will be asking. Mona, is there any question inside it?
No, all clear. Thank you, sir.
Okay, awesome. So now we will be stopping over here because we have touched the time already. So what I want now, this is the time, even though I see that 19 people are participating, I want to read from each one of you what you have understood in detail level, where you will be confirming that, of course, in the WhatsApp group. And when next time we will meet, before that, I want each one of you to complete the assignment which has been given to you. So now what you will do, because I have not heard every one of you, and I'm not sure if you are just connected through the phone or the devices and participated. I want each one of you to go back to this where to WhatsApp group.
I
Yeah.
already submitted today, so
Okay, so here I
yeah.
want to read
Just
from.
review. Yeah.
I want to know from all of you that who all participated here. Just go back and write what has been your top learning today and what do you feel like saying with those learning. Are you able to connect, relate, understand and all? Like Manasi did just now, I want each one of you to go and participate in that, and every one of you will be marked in your attendance, because if you remember, Devji had told that your 75% attendance is necessary. So go back and add your top learning with your comfort level. Are you able to understand the topic or not? And that helps us, me and Prerna, to refine it well. So personally, like this, we are going to review it. So all of you are going to do this. Say yes, 100% if you are going to do that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. So let me go back and review all of your answers. Thank you so much for participating. We'll talk to you soon again on the next Sunday. Till then, continue taking a deep dive. Bye-bye. Take care. We'll talk to you
Good
again.
night. Bye.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Take care,
Good
guys.
night.
Bye bye.
Night. Thank you.